Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the beautiful Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, and I'm making professional trading simple. And in the words of Ace Ventura, alrighty then. What a day. Lots of movement. If you're a day trader, you were in heaven today. This was beautiful, beautiful movement. Great move down to start the day, and then an equally nice move back up towards the middle of the day. So you got ample opportunity to make money on some stocks going both directions. It was a great, great day for a day trader. Hopefully, you guys were able to pull a couple bucks or a dollar out of the market from something today. Lots of good picks. A lot of them moved today. Even if especially if you're an ETF type person that likes to play the indices, there was great, great movement today. So I hope you were able to pull something out of it. I really, at first, after seeing the Dow and its movement, thought, oh boy, it could be over for the bulls right here. We could see a lot of them cover. And then all of a sudden, the big reversal. And I started looking at the NASDAQ charts and the SPX charts, and I thought, well, you know what? Nothing completely broken here. Need a little bit more move on the Nasdaq and the SPX to confirm some of this, and we never got it. Didn't happen. Turned around and moved right back up again. So a good fight today. I hope you guys were able to pull something out of it. If you weren't, and if you were scared to pull the trigger and get in on some of this stuff, you know, uh, get yourself grounded, get a good foundation in the markets. There was no reason for you not to be jumping in on some of the moves that happened today. Absolutely no reason for you to be scared to pull the trigger. Uh, Write me, call me, something if that was your problem today on trying to pull the trigger, because it's nothing that obviously can't be fixed. But while I did that, I had a time to, in between times of moving up and down, I had time to kind of peruse the internet today, and was interested to learn and just see some interesting ideas out there on the web. I made a new friend today. Yes, I know. I don't have very many. For those of you that know, the trading can be very lonely here in South Dakota. But I have a new friend. His name is James. He's in Custer. He's my first friend from Custer, which is right close to where I live. So it was nice to have him aboard. I also made a new friend. Her name is Claire, like Claire Huxtable maybe, or Claire if you're a Breakfast Club type of person. I'm showing my age. By the way, there's a Brian Johnson in the Breakfast Club, one of my favorite movies of all times. I resemble that guy. Actually, amazingly close. It's almost scary, the resemblance. Um, I'm not sure why I just admitted that on a public video like this, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I like just talking the truth. I'm not one to mince words. So anyway, I'd like to have you aboard, Claire. Hope you're watching tonight. Some of the other ones from that I met out on the internet, I hope you're watching tonight too. There was a certain gentleman that called these lines you see on the screen and trend lines and stuff voodoo. I love that. That usually just means, someone that hasn't taken the time to actually study technical analysis and use it in their own studies. There's not just a reason that these lines work. There's a psychology behind why they work. It's not just drawing lines on a screen. There is a psychology behind it. If you don't understand it, you're at a huge disadvantage to those that do. But there is actually a psychology. I mean, why can you draw a straight line on the screen and have it come down and make, and stop there, turn there? There's a reason for that. So let's break into the markets. Here you see the Dow on a 60-minute. And this is exactly the action the bears wanted. Even towards the end, there's still a good bear case on the Dow side of things, but we have not made that same case on the Nasdaq. We had a little double bottom right down here. See where it touched this line, came back up, hit this previous line of resistance, comes back down, touches this line of voodoo support, as some people would call it, apparently, and then moves back up and then hits this voodoo line of resistance up here and just somehow magically backs away. I mean, there's a reason that it does this. It's not voodoo science. The stuff I do is not voodoo. These trend lines, there really is a reason that they work the way they do. So, if those that have studied it understand, how it works and why it works. But as you can see on the Nasdaq, we double bottom, we came back up, and we're now in this little trading range. Okay, we're kind of stuck between 1690 and 1730. Let's call it 1735ish, where the bears and the bulls are beating the crud out of one another, all trying jockeying for position. So this is our new line in the sand. Below 1690 on the Nasdaq, I would expect a lot of bulls to start to cover. a good close, I would say, below 1690, and a close above the 1735 area will certainly get some of the bears to cover. A more important level for the Nasdaq is the 1750, but a 1735 close above that is a great start. So you can see the huge move down in the morning, the huge move back up over the next 3 hours, and a touch off of this previous resistance. Now we've just kind of baselined. So where is it going to go? We don't know. Do I care? No. As long as I'm on the right side of the trade, I don't care if it goes up or goes down. I'm watching the charts, and the charts will tell me which way this market's going to go. I don't make up my mind for it because it doesn't listen to me. I've tried. I've even tried to make calls to it, and it won't take my calls anymore. So it's a one night lover. Done with you. Got to wait for it to make its decision, and that decision is a break above 1735 on the Nasdaq and a break below 1690 to the bear side. On the daily, you can see this is where it's jockeying. See this little dotted line I drew in here? I'm loving it more and more every day. Notice how we touched it and bounced off. I think a lot of it has to do not necessarily with the line I drew in, if I'm being fair, but with the 20 day moving average, obviously. Going to get a bounce off of that. It's going to want to stay above that, especially the bulls. They're not going to want it to close below that and give the bears any sense of hope or well-being at this point. So, for all practical purposes, this looks like a high base in the Nasdaq until shown otherwise. Once again, 1735 and 1690 are our levels on the Nasdaq going forward. On a weekly, still, looking like a high base up here. Not too concerned. It's only Wednesday. Ask me again tomorrow night. And we'll see exactly where this goes. But right now, I mean, I got to be neutral to bullish. Let me zoom this in here a little bit. That's quite a ways up. But if we take a look here, we can see that we're really in what would be considered just a high base formation. Looking for a break and a close above 1750 on a weekly scale. If you're a bull, you really want to see that continue to move up. And at this point, until the charts tell me otherwise, there's no reason to believe we can't do that. So let's see what happens over the next 2 days and where we close. The SPX on a 60. Here's the crash. Here's the move back up. Now we're getting some chop action here. I should go in and probably redraw these lines. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that now. Hold on. I'm going to draw some more voodoo lines for you. Hold on.